Let's talk about love and romantic compatibility when it comes to dealing with someone who has Scorpio Sun Sign. But first, I want to make sure that you understand that when it comes to compatibility, information about the Sun Sign is useful, but let's not forget how important the role of the Moon Sign is. This is because in a relationship, you're basically dealing with two major aspects of a person: how they think about things and how they feel about things. Your sun sign is going to be much more of an indication of how you think about things, and your moon sign is going to be an indication of how you feel about things, because your moon sign is how you're wired emotionally. All relationships are going great until there's an issue. And when there's an issue and one person gets angry or emotional, you will be dealing with their moon sign. So we can't talk about the sun sign compatibility without talking about the moon sign compatibility. So because we need to address both of these major factors, we're going to take the sun sign, and in the case of this video, Scorpio sun sign, and I'm going to give you the top 10 things you should know about dealing with a Scorpio when it comes to romantic relationships. This top 10 list will be generally what you can expect in a relationship with a Scorpio. Then we're going to take the Scorpio sun sign and give you a brief overview of what that Scorpio would be like depending on what element their moon sign is in. And now, the top 10 things you should know about dating a Scorpio. Number 10, they must have sexual satisfaction. If the sex in the relationship is not good, then for them, neither is the relationship, and they will emotionally check out. So if you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, make sure to keep them sexually satisfied, and they will be a lot more willing to give their best in the relationship. Number 9, they don't open up easily. And when they do, it is not taken lightly. Scorpio's biggest fear is being vulnerable, so they make sure to put you through a series of tests in order to earn their trust. Once you have it, they do open up, but you better take care of that trust, because if you don't, you will never get it back. It's that simple. Number 8, they don't see the need in giving out unnecessary information. Scorpios are anything but an open book. So if you show up on the scene putting your whole life on display, they may be entertained, but they won't find that a redeeming quality. They need to know that if you're in a relationship with them, that you know how to discern between what is public information and what is private information. Number 7, they are all or nothing. If you're gonna be with a Scorpio, be ready to devote your whole being to them. More specifically, don't expect anything from them that you're not willing to do yourself. Number 6, Scorpios are not into sharing the person they are with. So don't think you're gonna have a Scorpio as a side piece or as anything other than your one and only. Number 5, Scorpios are jealous. They may not admit it, they may not even show it, but if a Scorpio feels like you're giving unnecessary attention that even remotely resembles sexual energy to somebody else, they will begin to put you in the not trustable category, and we know where that leads.
How's this for a wet dream?
Number 4, Scorpios are extremely strong. If you're going through something challenging, a Scorpio is very capable and strong-willed and a supportive partner. They are clever and they have the patience to problem solve. They can take a lot without breaking. So if you need a ride or die, a Scorpio is a great companion. Number 3, Scorpios are faithful. Well, let me clarify. If a Scorpio is in love with you and believes that you can be trusted, then they will be focused and committed. However, if they are not getting the devotion and affection and trust in the relationship that they're in, they will find it somewhere else and they won't necessarily be telling you about it. But whatever happens, they won't go unsatisfied. Number 2, they will not be dominated. They don't mind being supportive, loving, and caretaking, but being dominated or told what to do, it ain't happening. So don't even try, or you may end up with hurt feelings. And the number 1 thing you should know about dating a Scorpio is the best way to attract a Scorpio is to keep it real whenever you speak to them. If they sense any pretending or fake energy, you are instantly in the superficial, untrustworthy category, and once you're in that category, like I said earlier, they will have no interest. Now that we're clear on the top 10 things you need to know when dealing with a Scorpio sun sign, let's talk about the more detailed information regarding who this Scorpio will be, depending on what element their moon sign is in. If you're dealing with a Scorpio that has fire moon, you will have a Scorpio with high passion and a quick ignition point. Whether their moon be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, they will feel deeply and they'll express that feeling with much less hesitation than a Scorpio with either Earth or a water moon. So being with the Scorpio with fire moon combination will be an intense ride, but you will know where you stand at every step of the way. If you're with this combination and you're unclear where you stand, then odds are they've already moved on and you just haven't accepted or realized it yet. If you're dealing with a Scorpio that has air moon, you'll be dealing with a very expressive version of Scorpio. Most Scorpios are very discerning about when and whom they express their feelings to. But if the moon is Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, when they're thrown off balance, that mouthpiece will get going and you will hear all about it. But once they get it out and they're over it, they'll expect you to be over it too, which doesn't always seem quite fair, but a Scorpio with an air moon is always open to communicate if you're willing to go there with them. And more times than not, you'll be able to come to a mutual understanding. If you're dealing with a Scorpio that has earth moon, you will be dealing with someone who has a clear set of rules they are willing to follow and that you should follow too if you want to stay in their good graces. Whether their moon is Taurus moon, Virgo moon, or a Capricorn moon, this will be a Scorpio who is very clear on what they believe. They will have a great sense of humor, but they find nothing funny about someone who is willing to do what they consider to be the wrong thing. They have strictly defined right and wrong, and they'll make it known, so this way you can both be on the same page. The good news is, if your definitions line up, you will have a devoted, loving, consistent, loyal person on your hands. The bad news is, if your definitions don't line up, then you don't stand a chance. If you're dealing with a Scorpio that has water moon, then you are dealing with pure emotion. Intelligent, yes. Creative, yes. You also get compassionate and caretaking with this combo. But whether they are Cancer moon, Scorpio moon, or Pisces moon, they will take love and relationships very seriously. If they're emotionally involved with someone, they're in a constant state of considering that relationship in all of their decisions. The tricky part is, because they have such a deep capacity for love, their feelings can be easily hurt. So some of these Scorpios choose to shut off their emotions as opposed to embrace them for fear that it may become too overwhelming. So if you're interested in a Scorpio with water moon, the key is patience and good communication. If you reassure them with your words and your actions that your love is real, then you will have an incredible connection on your hands. On the flip side, if they are questioning your love, then be ready for a constant investigation that will lead to you being presented with evidence of why you have been convicted of being a fraud. Now, in later videos, I'll go more into depth about navigating through a relationship with each individual version of Scorpio, meaning I'll take Scorpio Sun Sign and explain in detail what the relationship would be like with that Scorpio if they have each individual moon sign, like Scorpio with Aries moon, Scorpio with Taurus moon, etc. And I'll give you the best way to make the most out of that relationship. It's also a good idea to check out my zodiac and compatibility video so you can get the basics and the general rules of thumb when it comes to understanding if your sign is compatible with someone else's sign. So now that you have the sun sign and basic moon sign combination, you can look at the placement of your sun and moon and see if it works well with the sun and moon sign combination of the person you're either with or interested in being with. You can see if you are the same element, which means you speak the same language. And if you don't, you can use this information as insight into how you can better understand their language, because remember, more than attraction, more than sexual compatibility, and more than just having things in common, the true key to a successful, long-lasting relationship is communication. And in order to communicate, we have to understand and embrace each other's language. If you like this video, give it a like, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.